Hi, I'm Ron Moorhead, and you're listening to the Paranormal Zone.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen, but it does happen.
A ghostly apparition in the dark of night.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Hey there, paranormal zoners. You are in the Paranormally Zone, your place for all things paranormal, strange, and mysterious. Your weekly dose of all things paranormal, strange, and mysterious. My name is Patrick Koffenberg, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host with the ghosts, the paranormal poster boy himself, the Mr. Kool-Aid Man look going for him today. Michael Garb. That just popped in the top of my head.
Big and round and reddish.
I was just going for the reddish, and now I realize that sounded really mean on my part. I am sorry.
Oh, yeah.
See, now we need to film a Patreon bit of you like crashing through a wall.
Yeah, with this red shirt on. But if you look up, it's a Shazam shirt.
Hey, there you go. Shazam. Looks pretty good. No, it's kind of funny when we first met up here, not even 10 minutes ago. I was like taken aback by the clarity of Mike's webcam video, and he said, it must be my shirt. I'm like, what? It's like, okay, I guess Mike has supernatural clothing that affect the ability of his webcam. But yeah, anyways, it's good to see you, Mike. Thanks for making this early Wednesday recording work. This is Thursday. What the hell am I talking about?
Yeah, we were going to do Wednesday, but, the spontaneity or the lack of it sometimes it changes things up a bit.
Yep, and I threw the option out at you and said, well, we can do it tomorrow, and then you jumped all over that. You said, yep, that'd be great. And
it did. Yeah, it actually helped a lot, yes.
And so and then I was like, you know what, I got things to do later this evening. I can probably leave work early today. I've got PTO that I need to use up anyhow. And I was like, I'm going to throw it out to Mike and see if we can start recording around 3 p.m. And Mike said, Mike counteracted with, how about 3:30?
Yeah.
So,
and we settled on apparently about 3:38.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Well, I say 3:41 on my end, but hey, close enough.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of counting back at when we probably did start.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're right. You are almost exactly right. So,
but that's okay.
This is the beginning. This is our first episode for October 2022. That's right. It's Spooktober, Ghosttober, however you want to refer to it.
It's Paratober.
Man, it's the best time of the year for fans of the paranormal and all things creepy and ghoulish and all that good stuff. And
we do love Halloween or Samhain.
Very good. Very good. Well, didn't you just mispronounce it again?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think you did. No, because I always butchered that too, and then your niece politely corrected us.
Yes, she did. She would know.
Yes.
It's Sam Jaime.
The Sam Jaime time. I don't think that's right either.
No.
Hey, let's just stick with Ghosttober or Creeptober or something. Well, Creeptober, that could be any number of things. So
Creeptober.
I don't like that one. But I think we got a good one though. We settled on a topic. Was it today? No, it was yesterday.
Yesterday, yes.
Ooh, so we're early. We're prepared for this one. It's something that we have definitely covered several times in the past, but I shouldn't say, but referring to particular cases, I don't think we've ever really done a deep dive into alleged poltergeist attacks.
Right.
Okay, terrifying concept. I don't like it. Talk about creepy. I know we focused on the Enfield poltergeist before.
Yes.
That may have been an alternate route podcast episode, so it's been a while. But we have at least 4 other cases here that are truly just scary as hell, if
Yes.
they are indeed true. And as longtime listeners know, dingy ding, dingy ding
Oops.
ding. There it is. Oh,
Sounded kind of weak.
yeah. The dingy bell needs some work.
It needs a little bit of oil.
It's like you woke it up. It's like, oh,
I just about expected instead of a ding come out and say what?
amidst a big cloud of dust too. Just
Yeah. I haven't been using that belt enough.
no, yep. You need to dust that off, man. But you don't have to do it again. But as long time listeners know, this is a one of our favorite topics because it is genuinely creepy.
It's
and
terrifying.
And I don't want to banter back and forth, Mike, as we always do. I want to get your takes, your thoughts, your opinions on what may actually be going on here in these alleged encounters. Well, first and foremost, Mike, in your long life of paranormal activity,
my 60 years of hellish encounters. I know Beelzebub well.
man. Sorry about that made me laugh there for some reason. Yeah, I agree. Here's 60 years of hellish encounters. Not quite. But in your lifetime of experiences, when it comes to the paranormal, I'll phrase it that way. Have you ever had anything physical happen to you of any nature whatsoever?
I got poked in the eye once.
Okay, now are you joking? Okay, God
Yes,
damn it.
I'm joking.
I can never tell the difference between Mike when he's serious and when he's pulling your leg. He has got a terrific poker face, poker voice.
Yes.
If there is such a thing as a poker voice, but for a split second,
I do have that.
I believed him for a second. I got poked in the eye, he says.
No, actually,
was it the spirit of the Three Stooges? Which one was that? Was that Mo?
From way off in the ether, very silently and very quiet, I start to hear. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Exactly.
It gets louder and louder. Physically attacked, I have never been, but yeah.
Have you ever seen objects manipulated or moved?
Cow. No, not really.
Okay.
This is these are things that I have wished for. You just wish for your proof positive.
Yeah.
But yeah, to see something actually move. No. And these are things that we can hopefully witness in the Sally House. Not to keep bringing up the Sally House every episode, but
to bring it up again. Yeah.
But these are things that we are going to be looking for. I mean, these poltergeist activities.
No, 100%. Also, hopefully we'll remember to do this before we run out of time here today. Hopefully we can discuss maybe here's that word, Mike, the delineation of, or comparing poltergeist activity through like an intelligent ghost simply manipulating physical objects. You know what I mean? Because like there's stories of the Sally House of like the children's toys being moved, on their own. So is that technically is that automatically labeled poltergeist, or is that simply
just
a
an
ghost
interaction?
Yeah, a ghostly interaction. I mean, well, hey, let's start off with that question, Mike. Does that automatically, to you, does that automatically say, well, it's physical in nature, it's moving stuff around? Does that quantify or qualify as poltergeist activities? Or is it, like you said, simply like an intelligent spirit / ghost / energy that is somehow manipulating these objects?
I think there's a fine line between that because I think in a case like I'll take the Sally House, for example, like the red ball that's in her bedroom, at least during the Ghost Adventures episode, It was actually caught on film moving, but I don't think that's so much a poltergeist activity. I think that's more of a communication situation, because people are asking, and I think they may have asked, if you're here, can you move that? That's like a request and a communicating
and a
communication.
response.
Not
It's obviously
it's a response. It's not something that could be malicious or something that as a poltergeist activity.
So some of these cases that we're going to cover, as we mentioned, they are downright terrifying if true, but they involve, I mean, we're talking about the infamous scratches, the very the bites. Let me see, I wrote these down with my professional notes.
Poltergeist attack. That's what I'd call that.
Yeah, poltergeist attack. I have, not, pulling and pushing, people being pushed downstairs, people being, pulled.
Thrown against the wall or
levitation.
And those are things that have happened. Yes, absolutely.
Also affecting, electrical issues in the house, causing electrical problems, strange smells, even going so far as people claiming to be strangled by these energies. So to me, that as horrifying as it sounds, that sounds like something that is very aware of what it's doing. Therefore, it is intelligent. Does that sound?
Definitely, definitely a thought there. Definitely an agenda. And you get into that physical things like the attacking and the, even as little as the scratches, or going up to as much as the being choked or held down violently. Now, does that borderline on poltergeist activity along with demonic activity? Is there the levels that reach these? Is there just the interaction with things moving or being touched or whatever, the actual attack, poltergeist attack, moving into what is actually a demonic attack?
Man, I thank you for bringing that up, because yes, I did write that down. I usually write down several they are questions that I want to put forth towards Mike and hopefully spark a little discussion. But that is one that I wrote down. I wrote down demonic / malevolent in nature,
right?
As if it is purely an evil energy. It's from beyond our realm. Mike, I'll throw it to you. How can we quantify this? Now, there I'm using the word quantify correctly now. Like on percentage wise, 0 to 100%. Your opinion that this is purely demonic / malevolent in nature, and there can be differences between malevolent and demonic.
Oh, absolutely.
So we'll stick with demonic. Your guesstimate, your opinion on the percentage chances that this is demonic in nature, poltergeist activity that attacks people.
I think the attacking and the scratching and things like that, that stays on the level of the malevolent poltergeist for me. I mean, poltergeist can be pretty mild, on one end, and who knows how nasty they can get on the other. But it's staying with the poltergeist theory.
Okay, gotcha. First,
but because also me with the demonic thing.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
but,
yeah. And longtime listeners know, dingy ding ding. Well, we all know that the literal definition of poltergeist is noisy ghost. I mean, which kind of implies that it could be, Mike, like you said, just some of the more mundane physical activity that doesn't cause any harm, obviously, and maybe doesn't even cause any fright. I think I would kind of get a little creeped out if I saw something moving on its own and maybe thrown at my face. Yeah, I think I'd be a little creeped out.
And maybe the more activity or maybe violent nature or whatever of a poltergeist is just maybe that's all that hauntings are, or whatever. It's it's a ghost, a spirit that is either an introvert or an extrovert. You get an extroverted spirit that isn't, a poltergeist, but you get this extroverted, spirit that does these things. It's like, well, that's just my personality. That's the way I've always been. That's the way I'm always going to be.
I really like that. I really like that idea or that notion. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so, it's like, I'm struggling to get their attention. They're not paying attention to me in my subtle. So I'm not going to be subtle here. I'm going to actually start, showing them that I'm here. And
if they want to call me a poltergeist, no problem.
No, that's right. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with labels. I'm all right with labels. Now, going back like a couple minutes, why did you laugh at me, by the way, when I was talking about demonic malevolent? While I was asking you your questions, you started giggling at me like, oh,
I did, but I can't remember what it was about now. Yeah, something struck me a little funny, but I don't know. Can't remember.
Okay.
I don't know. It might have been that little curl of hair that's coming out from the front of your cap down on your forehead.
Oh, yeah, I got to get rid of that thing. Yeah. I was trying to see how long I could grow up before anyone noticed.
Yeah.
So, no. Okay, I was just checking. So then that builds my confidence.
If I remember, I'll let you know what it was about. I don't know.
No, I appreciate that. Just knowing that Mike randomly just starts laughing at me in the middle of my question. Okay, before we dive into these cases, a few more questions I want to ask, Mike, I want to talk to you about. Another one I wrote down was regarding poltergeist activity. I wrote down unknown human capability. Now, we have talked about, when we have discussed poltergeist, we have talked about the possibility that this is purely man-made, made by us humans. We are somehow creating this energy to manipulate
the 13-year-old girl going through puberty.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Because so many of these researchers say that, particularly that age and that gender, for whatever reason, seems to be connected to several of these poltergeist cases. Do you think that this is some unidentified, unknown? Is it caused by us? I'll put it simply like that. Is it caused by us?
Well, it can be. I mean, that's, what we have, a lot of people have a telekinetic psychokinesis ability if they know how to use it or just comes naturally to them to use it. That could be classified as that. But, I'm kind of getting more to the point of, I'm kind of getting tired of that scientific explanation,
Down
like,
with science. Down
this
with
is
science.
what we are going to come up with. There is no such thing as ghosts, so it's got to be us being able to do it with our mind,
I know.
which is still a fantastic phenomena,
Oh,
but
absolutely,
yet science will accept that as a possible
That's a
reason for these things.
That's a great point.
But no, it can't be a ghost. No, but move it with your mind, of course.
In some ways, it's almost more fantastical thinking of it as being produced by our minds.
Right. I mean, that says something about the power that we have in the physical that we don't even realize or want to admit to that, is possible.
Have you ever seen the movie The Men Who Stare at Goats?
No, but it sounds like fun. Not the movie, just the actual act of staring at goats.
Well, of course, I'm referring to like the super secret classified military practice of, again, this is alleged stuff, but I think it's pretty much been proven that it did happen, as a tactical nature of trying to train people to basically, read minds from continents away,
sure. Remote viewing.
Right. Exactly.
Which would be a great subject sometime to really do a deep dive into.
Oh, that blows my mind. That stuff blows my mind. But again, that's
Major Ed Dames would be somebody. Ooh, there'd be somebody to get on the show.
I'm frightened by just that title, that moniker, Major Ed Dames. Ooh, I'd be intimidated. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. He'll take one look at me and melt. I don't know why I said that. I really don't know why I said that. But again, To me,
Stop the world.
Stop the world. That to me, that's like the idea of remote viewing is damn near just as outrageous, if you want to
Sure.
call it that, as the idea of an afterlife. You know,
But the Americans and the Russians and whoever else have had if not still have the programs in the military to do that.
It's amazing what we don't know, isn't it? Kind of amazing. Last but not least, the other one I wrote down, Mike, was supernatural intelligence feeding on stress/turmoil, otherwise feeding off of the negative. So not necessarily
Sure.
caused by us, but feeding our negative energy to allow this, whatever you want to call it, to manipulate these physical objects. What do you think
Sure.
about that possibility?
Okay, you said giving energy to the entity to do these things.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's an energy that is there, but on its own, it's not strong
Okay.
enough to do this. But it is
Right.
like it's feeding off of negative vibes, basically.
Sure. I mean, I think ghosts, poltergeists. Well, we know that. We know that ghosts in general will feed off of the energy of us or mechanical items to gain strength.
Mhm.
And that's that's what feeding off the negative energy is. It's a strong energy that they're gonna gain strength from. So it's intelligently done as their plan.
Ooh, yeah, kind of a
They know what they're doing. They need the energy. They feel it, and they take it if they need it.
yep. I like that possibility as well, man. I really do like that possibility. I mean, I don't like the outcomes, but
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by that as being a possibility for sure. So, well, Mike, shall we dive into some of these cases? Oh, go ahead first.
No, I was just gonna say that there's more of the good out there, the good energy and the positive than there is the evil.
You know what? Thank you for bringing that up, because that's another thing I wrote down on my professional notes here. I said,
And I haven't even read your notes.
and I know you haven't. Mike is actually remote viewing my notes right
there
now.
you go.
I wrote down, is it possible for a poltergeist to be benevolent? What do you think about that? What a great way.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
That would be, like poltergeist activity can be, anywhere from, the evil intent kind of freak you out kind of thing to just a mild joking kind of a playful thing.
That's very true. Again, like
Right.
if we're thinking that this maybe is just an intelligent remnant of a physical
Yeah.
being who once lived here, and their soul, or their subconscious, whatever you want to call it, is still remaining. And let's say their personality in real life was that of a trickster, of a jokester.
Very poltergeist-like activity, but doing it as I'm going to have fun with this. Look, I'm going to tie this person's shoelaces together while they're sitting at breakfast.
Sure.
That's
Right. And then watch them trip and break their neck and die.
Yep. Hit their head on the granite countertop in the kitchen.
Very specific right there.
Black granite
I was
with
gonna
white veins.
Okay, thank you for describing that even more. I was just going to ask. And I think we've also heard stories, Mike. Well, I know we have. I don't know how familiar we are with stories like this, but there are tales of like ghostly / invisible energies like saving people from harm.
Oh, sure.
Too. So if that was like a physical, let's just say for lack of a better example, let's say someone is pushed by some sort of phantom energy out of the way of an oncoming vehicle that they didn't see or something like that. Now, would that fall under a poltergeist activity since it is physical in nature? Again, I'm shrugging my shoulders like that because I'm like, I get it's kind of a weird question, but
not everything of a physical nature is going to be a poltergeist just because it can move something or manipulate something. It's how it's used, how it's manipulated, and how things are moved. But that's like a more of an angelic, protector, a guardian
angel. Sure.
Yeah.
So is it safe to say, are we going to settle on that at the very least, the on the scale of harmful, at the very bottom of the scale, they're noisy little pests, and they're maybe a jokester at the worst. And then up at the very high end of the scale, yeah, they can be capable of strangling someone like that. So they're definitely. Are we agreeing here, Mike? Are we settling on that? They're not necessarily good at all, but they also can be harmless. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right. Absolutely. That's what I believe. And if you think about it, it makes sense. I mean, like we are in death as we're in life, like we've talked about, and some of us alive are the jokesters and everything in between up to the really bad guy.
Well,
and we're all human.
Since very briefly, we'll go off the subject here very, very briefly, but that sparked a thought in my mind. Is it capable of being someone totally different? Again, we're just riffing here, and I love throwing these questions off of Mike, and we're going to, throw our ideas off of each other here.
Yeah, because you like to hear how stupid I sound.
No, I like getting your organic, natural response because, and 99% of the time, it makes perfect sense. And I'm like,
pretty soon you're going to get a real organic, natural response out of me, and it's not going to be coming out of my mouth.
Well, at least I won't be smelling it. That's for sure. Unless we do.
Boy, that's turning my stomach just a little bit and feeling a little.
See, now I lost my train of thought now. So thanks a lot. Okay, I got it now. I think.
I'm ready.
I think. Are we doing a good job, Igor, by the way?
No.
Okay.
No.
We're trying. I think I saw Christopher Walken right around the corner the other day. Yeah.
No.
What the hell was I going to say? Oh, yeah.
Once again.
Off topic, very briefly off topic, but what you said sparked this. Is it possible to be someone totally different? Can you do a 180 personality-wise when you move on from this physical existence?
Or are you stuck with what you were when you
died? Are you what you are? Right, exactly.
No, I think there's levels of that too. There's levels in life. There's levels in death.
And they're all learning. They're like stages of learning. Are they not?
Yeah, that's what the entire purpose of living, or the other side, or whatever side you're on, it's all a learning experience. I mean, we learn what we can on Earth in our physical forms. You learn what you needed to, or what you could at that time, and you move on and you keep learning in your afterlife. I mean, why can't you evolve spiritually? You can evolve physically. I think it almost would be easier to evolve spiritually than it is, physically.
Well, I mean, let's face it. I mean, even as, adults, Mike, for me, and I'm assuming it's the same for you, you're not the same person you were when you were 20. I mean, you've evolved. Geez. You've changed.
I'm not the same person I was when I was 50, 40.
Absolutely. So, I mean, why not, right? I mean, I think you could absolutely...
but from when I was 20 until right now, just before turning 60, I am an extremely different person.
It doesn't even seem like the same person, I bet.
Hopefully for the better, but that's just part of the way you learn and evolve and how you choose your route. So anyway.
Well, let's dive into these 4 particular cases. Okay.
Yeah. Are we skipping the Enfield?
Yeah, we're going to skip the Enfield because we've covered that one before.
I think it's fake anyway.
You do not. That one always terrifies me just because you hear that. It is
terrifying.
You have the audio of that girl being able to, well, if you don't believe it, then she's throwing her voice and she sounds like a craggly, demonic old man. I don't know. I don't know about that one, but I'm leaning towards that being... Well, I'm not going to say. It's creepy no matter what it is.
Yeah, very, very famous.
The first one we're covering here, and this is thanks to theoccultmuseum.com. Got lots of really cool stuff over at theoccultmuseum.com, if you're into this sort of shit, by the way. We're going to start with the Thornton Health Poltergeist. Oh, Mike, I believe you're probably pulling up the same article that I am.
Yeah, I have it.
Do you want to read through it? Or do you want me to fly through it?
I can read through.
Go for it.
You get tired of reading and spreading your whiny voice.
Exactly. I'm worried that people get tired of me reading too much. So
no, that's the thing that people get tired of is you complaining about yourself.
Oh, hush. That could very well be true. So
I was talking to a very strong follower of us and what we do, and this person said, he takes away from what he actually is and what he does by complaining about himself, because he is the only one that sees him that way, and we don't, which is true.
All right, when we're done recording, you're gonna have to tell me who told you that.
Well, it was my brother.
That's why I figured that was it. I figured.
He loves the show so much, and he loves what we do, individually and together. But it's like Patrick, you need to have more confidence in yourself.
Well, I believe I portray an image of confidence. I think I come forth fairly strong 90% of the time, but then, like you said, it's splattered and shattered the moment I say something like that. I got you.
Yeah. No, it's just you, because everybody loves Patrick.
Oh, hush. You're going to make me blush here. So,
yeah.
All right, Mike, go ahead and
blush.
Impress us with your fluid reading skills.
Yes,
make it lively.
The Thornton Health Poltergeist. Very interesting. For almost 4 years, a family in Thornton Health, which must be where they live, England, were tormented by a vicious poltergeist. It began when their radio began to spontaneously turn on during the night, blasting a foreign language station. Now that's weird.
Yeah,
you
the
really
foreign
hear
language
things like that. Yeah,
that's kind of weird and bizarre.
Yeah. During Christmas, an ornament went flying across the room, and their tree started to shake violently. Well, squirrels.
Yep. I immediately went to Christmas Vacation right there. So.
Right. When entertaining guests, there were loud knocks at the door before the door seemingly flung open by itself of its own accord, and all of the lights in the house turned on. Terrified, the family turned to a local medium who confirmed the haunting and told the couple that the name of the poltergeist was Chatterton. This spirit, the meeting told them, had lived in the house during its life and now considered the family as trespassers. Research confirmed that there had indeed been a farmer by the name of Chatterton that had previously lived in the house. Unwilling to share their home, the family moved away and the haunting ended. Interestingly, since then, no other residents have complained of any aggressive spirits or paranormal activity.
See, that part, that's interesting to me.
It is.
Because why act up with just this one particular family? And then, seemingly you succeed. I'm referring to the poltergeist here. You succeed in terrifying them enough that they leave because you don't want them there. You view them as trespassers. You get them out of there, and no one's complained about it ever since. So what's the difference there, Mr. Poltergeist? What do you think's going on there, Mike?
Well, obviously.
Obviously.
It's hard to kind of figure, but because you don't really read of something like that. I mean, I've never read of anything like that. But what it means to me is that the people that live there and that the poltergeist was taking offense to is that they had small hands, smelled like cabbage.
No.
Mike, I'm distracted.
That's all I got.
I'm distracted by this fly that's on top of your scully right now. It's right.
Really?
Yeah, it's right on the back here.
I haven't noticed.
It's been walking there. See it? It's right by your headphones now. Now it's on the back of your head again.
No.
Damn little piece of shit. I tell you, it's that time of the year. These flies are driving me nuts too, because they're in their
bees.
They're in their death throes, and so they're like, "Let us in, let us in."
Yeah. You sit outside in your car with your windows open, and there's bees come around too. A lot of bees.
No, thank you. Me no.
Anyway, there's that of course was a joke.
And again though, if we're going on like they're intelligent in nature, if we're going on that possibility, it has to be simply possible that they just didn't like that family. They didn't like one person. They didn't like one aspect about it. We all have people that we don't like.
Oh, sure.
For various reasons, hopefully not very many.
Yeah.
But maybe, why would it not be the same for a spirit? It's like, I don't like you, but everyone else who's been here since, there's that damn fly. Get out. I don't mind this guy, so they can stay. You know what I mean?
Well, and maybe so much energy was expelled during this time of trying to get rid of this one family that it's just lying dormant for a while and just
this
building up its
poltergeist
energy.
Poltergeist is lying on its back, just gasping for spiritual air. If there is such, kind of like Mike's going to be when he becomes part of the Sally House floor.
Yeah, the floor.
Well, we joked about it last episode about how we hope Mike doesn't. The reason you're not going to get down on the floor is because you're afraid you won't be able to get up. And so, I of course promote the episode as well. Mike become a permanent fixture of the Sally House floor.
Will he become a permanent stain on the floor of the Sally House? Yeah, I'm laying there. I can't get up. I can't roll over to either side. and all of a sudden, there's this horrendously terrifying 3 foot tall little blonde girl running across the living room floor. Like she wants to play peekaboo with me.
And you can't do nothing about it. Why'd I get like an image of like Gulliver's Travels now with Mike being strapped down? With all these little people climbing all over Mike.
Yeah, but with me, it can be ropeless. I just
give
defenseless.
up.
Defenseless.
The simplest man to abduct right there. Just Mike doesn't put up a fight at all. He's like this.
I'm done.
One thing that
I
did
forget
like,
checkouts at 9.
Right. Got it.
Anyway,
I will add one. I'm going to skip to another article that I found earlier today, Mike, and I'll fly through this because the name sounded familiar, but when I read it, I don't recall us ever talking about it. But it's known as the Grey Friars poltergeist.
The Grey Friar. I've heard of the Grey Friar.
Yeah, and all this activity occurred in the Grey Friars Cemetery in Edinburgh, Scotland. This real-life poltergeist encounter is all blamed on the man known as the so-called Bluidy Mackenzie. It's Bluidy.
Bluidy Mackenzie.
Bluidy Mackenzie.
Well, he wears a kilt.
Are you a teen casual? Yes. Now, this Bluidy Mackenzie was a man responsible for the death of 18,000 men who were opponents of Charles II, earning him that bloody nickname. Now, the first encounter occurred in 1999 when a man disturbed the coffin of Mackenzie in the cemetery to find a shelter. Now, first off, how sad is that you're trying to seek shelter in a cemetery? I mean, I hope this man is doing well nowadays. The homeless man, homeless man ended up in the tomb during a stormy night when Mackenzie's coffin collapsed. The homeless man quickly bolted, terrifying a man walking his dog through the cemetery because, why not? You're seeing a guy flee from a tomb. That would be fairly startling. Hey, sit down, lassie. Now, this first encounter seems to have awoke something in the tomb because ever since then, there have been numerous reports of poltergeist activity. And at one stage, the cemetery ended up closing to public visits. But of course, naturally, a ghost tour was then set up. Of course it was. So that members of the public could then enjoy themselves or enjoy their poltergeist true story experience. And guess what? During these tours, more than 170 people have apparently either passed out or collapsed during these tours.
Oh, she fainted.
Well, mark her up. 164.
Two down.
We need to get to 200 before the end of the new year. Let's go. And since then, more than 350 visitors have also been attacked with numerous injuries, including broken bones, have been reported. Now, okay, we have a good time here. If this is wow. I heard that fly
I did too.
on your sensitive
Landed right on
microphone.
my mic.
Man alive!
Uh,
Do I have to listen?
I just saw Jeff Goldblum.
Does that- Now, do I have to give the fly co-hosting credit now because it's spoken into the microphone?
No, he wasn't invited. So
Now, like I was saying, we have fun here on the podcast, and if these accounts are true, I mean, that is horrible and that's terrifying. I mean, what the hell's going on there that's causing all these people to pass out and faint?
right.
Let alone being attacked. I mean, my God, that's scary.
It's all the way the energy is being used or expelled or whatever.
That reminds me too, very briefly, that's like when Bridget and I went on the tour of Glensheen Mansion up in Duluth.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike, there's a train going by now.
There is.
In Enderlin. We got flies, we got trains. Oh man, what else is next? When Bridget and I went on that tour, the tour guide mentioned, people having kind of feeling faint during certain times of the tour and stuff. And, mark it up to whatever you want. But as I've said before, I started feeling lightheaded during that tour at, coincidentally, I don't know, the exact same time another member of the tour had to sit down on the floor because she started to feel very faint. So I don't know. Is that pure coincidence? I'm not sure about that one.
No, I don't believe so. I think that's an energy that comes from whatever's going on there. We know that Glensheen has been reported to be haunted, and it's it would be neat to kind of do a study on how many times this has happened, just over a period of a year.
Yeah.
And in what spots, in the mansion.
Yeah, because if it's consistently in the same part of the house, or that'd be really interesting to look at the data, and kind of figure something out there and kind of correlate the two. It's like,
Did you ever make it up into the attic of Glensheen?
No, we didn't.
Every time that I've been there, which has only been a couple of times, it's like, well, one of them was COVID, or you could go through the kind of a self tour thing. Yeah. And then the attic wasn't open during that time. And then the other time, I can't remember why I didn't make it up there, but I've heard it's quite interesting. Yeah.
You know what? Now I'm having a brain malfunction. Did we get up there? Because I want to say that it's a very narrow step up towards the attic, and it was really, really hot, really warm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm having a brain malfunction. I'll have to ask Bridget if we did make it up there or not. I want to say that we did now, because I thought that we had. Well, I won't say anything.
If there's any listeners that are in driving distance to Duluth, Minnesota, or want a good road trip and to a beautiful part of the country that you would not imagine, but I would definitely suggest Glensheen Manor. Beautiful mansion.
It's right on Lake Superior there. Man.
Yeah. So it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Well, Mike, you want to take the next poltergeist encounter here? Do you have that one pulled up? I shouldn't say poltergeist encounter, but alleged poltergeist attacks.
Yes, we are talking about the South Shields poltergeist.
You are correct, sir.
Let's see. The South Shields poltergeist terrorized a family in the summer of 2006. It would stack chairs, open cabinets, slam doors, like many other reported poltergeist cases. This one was unique, however, in that it seemed to fixate on and possess children's toys. Now that's frightening.
Yeah. It's like, what is it about children's toys that this thing is just so enamored with?
Well, it's like the Sally house up in her bedroom.
Yeah.
That's we got to spend some time up there and put the toys in a circle and everything like people do.
I know.
Anyway, the couple found such things as a rocking horse hanging from the ceiling and a stuffed animal holding a box cutter.
Yeah.
Now, how can that happen?
And that's also dangerous. Hello.
But they don't have opposable thumbs, or they just got like a
Mike,
like a filled mitten on the
I have to correct you all the time. It's disposable thumbs. Okay? Disposable.
Disposable?
Yes. I'm joking. Come on.
I was going to say, boy, you're sounding like me all the time.
It's a joke.
It's just an optimal delusion.
I like that one too. Optimal delusion.
Okay. And one night there was a barrage of flying toys and 13 scratches. 13 scratches.
Coincidence?
Mysteriously, mysteriously appeared on the husband's back. See, that's the kind of poltergeist activity that we are going to be wondering about at the Sally house. Is that going to happen?
Because
that's definitely getting scratched.
Well, there have been alleged occurrences of that happening.
Right. And that's
Sally
what I'm
house.
wondering. Is it going to happen to us? I mean,
again,
maybe.
I mean, on one hand, I would absolutely love it because that'd be 195,000%
exactly
proof right there. But on the other hand, it would be, oh my God, shattering almost, because it's like you're getting attacked by something you can't see. What the hell?
Yeah, and have no control over.
No control. Terrifying.
Except the fact that I'm going to bring triple antibiotic ointment.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
Just in case.
I appreciate that. And I'm going to bring a defibrillator just for you, too.
There you go. Yeah. Just bring a dozen donuts. I'll be happy.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
But then the fact that it's 13 scratches, is that coincidental or is it?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Unlucky 13, man. But some people say 13 is lucky, so who knows?
You never know. Anyway, the poltergeist would write threatening messages on a whiteboard and even send text messages to the couple. They got a Verizon on the other side.
That is bizarre. I mean, we've talked about phantom phone calls, know, in the past and stuff, but being able to manipulate a modern cell phone to send a text message.
Oh, they keep up with technology.
Yeah.
They might just have to look at the phone and think it, and there it is.
That's right. Exactly. I mean, we don't know how advanced they are.
Exactly. Usually stating its plan to kill them. That's what he does on the messages. Paranormal researchers confirmed the haunting and although the names of the couple were never released, we can only hope that they found a new place to live. Yeah.
Again, this was the South Shields poltergeist, and these are all alleged, these are what these people claim to have experienced. I mean, again, I'm not putting a damper or downer on anything right there, but sending text messages that could have been done simply as a hoax, and then I didn't do that. A ghost did it, So I mean, anyone could do that. We're not saying that's the case, but it wouldn't be fair for us to not mention that.
Yeah, exactly.
This next one here, the Pontefract poltergeist. I think the E is silent. Would you say it's Ponta or just
Pontefract? Pontefract. Yeah, who knows? Your guess is as good as mine on that one.
Pontefract poltergeist. Now, this is believed to be the soul of a monk who was killed during the 16th century and is thusly nicknamed the Black Monk. This poltergeist haunted a family in the 1970s and is considered to be the most violent poltergeist in European history. And of course, since it was the most violent poltergeist in European history, the family nicknamed it Fred.
Family nicknamed their ghost pal Fred.
Yep.
Okay.
And Fred would often leave puddles on the floor, puddles of what we do not know, throw objects and smash eggs. Not all of Fred's... I know, jeez. Damn you, Fred. Not all of Fred's actions were so harmless, however, as it is also claimed that he physically assaulted some of the residents. Yeah, and this is where it gets serious and creepy. He claimed to have carried the 12-year-old daughter, Diane, up the stairs by her neck, leaving a bruise in the shape of a handprint when he was done. Utterly terrifying if that's true. Fred also attempted to strangle Diane with an electric cable. The family's neighbor, Carol, also claims to have met and spoken to Fred, and that's odd, saying that Fred detests anyone who lives in that house. The house is now empty, and Carol says that Fred promised to get rid of anyone who lives in that house within 12 months of them moving on. That's very specific. Why did Fred say 12 months? I mean, just why not, forever?
You're putting a timeline on there.
Yeah, these poltergeists are busy. They're on a schedule, But, in all sincerity, if that really happened, how horrifying and traumatic for that poor girl. My God, can you imagine Mike being strangled by an invisible force?
Sure, and I would definitely name
sure.
that force Fred.
Yeah, of course.
Seriously.
God damn it, Fred. At least you could be, well, I was going to say something really nasty there, but I stopped.
Lighten up, Fred.
Yeah, right, exactly. Lighten up, Francis.
Yeah.
Truly terrifying. Again, with all these, we're giving you the very brief summaries here of these cases. We highly encourage you guys, if you're interested, to do some research yourself into all these cases. Finally, the last example we have for today, for this episode, is Esther Cox's poltergeist. Esther Cox's poltergeist. Now, Esther Cox lived with her 2 sisters and her sister's husband. In 1878, when she began to be tormented by a violent poltergeist. It started to disturb her in her sleep, causing her body to swell. What?
Too much ham.
No, that's you. That's just you.
That's what happens to me. But I'll never quit eating ham. I love it.
Yeah. Is it a poltergeist or ham?
Yeah.
You decide.
It's a slab of well-smoked ham.
Canadian bacon.
Salt added.
It's that salt, man. It's all about the salt.
Soaked in a thick brine. Anyway, go ahead.
That's good. That's fine. Now, when Esther's family came to investigate, they found that Esther's blankets were stuck to the walls, and efforts to try to remove them were fruitless.
Now, how the hell does that happen?
Yeah, but it says here that eventually the spirit let them go, the blanket says. Yeah. One night, Esther's physician, Dr. Kariti, I'm not sure how to pronounce that name, was observing her sleep when her pillow began to move from underneath her head.
Gophers.
Gophers, yeah, sure. Mice. He tried to stop it, but the poltergeist was too strong on the wall. The doctor claims to have seen an invisible hand carving the words, "Esther Cox, you are mine to kill." It was only when the poltergeist started setting fires that Esther left the house, finally, to try and rid herself of the spirit. But unfortunately, that attempt was in vain, as the poltergeist followed her to the local inn, where it there reportedly stabbed Esther in the back with the innkeeper's son's pocket knife. Now, Mike finds that funny.
Excuse me, innkeeper's son, but could I borrow your pocket knife for just a moment?
Who's asking me that? I don't see anybody who's telling me, but I shall hold up my pocket knife to see if an invisible hand grabs it. Just don't stab anybody.
My name is Fred the maniacal poltergeist, and I need your knife.
Trust me.
I'll have it back post-haste.
No harm, no foul. Let's see here. Now, eventually, Esther met with a Walter Hubble, who suggested that they make a show of the haunting. So, of course, Walter did. Unfortunately, the spirit lay dormant when in front of crowds. Of course, it did, but it continued to torture Esther off stage. This is like,
won't do it when anybody's watching, but when I'm all alone, Lord.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. It's just like that damn frog who never sang for Bugs Bunny. You remember that cartoon? Swore that thing sang like, Frank Sinatra songs to Bugs, but the moment he got him on stage, it stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when the show failed, Esther started working for a court clerk named Arthur Davidson. That was until Davidson's barn burned down, a crime he actually blamed Esther for. When Esther told the judge that it wasn't her, it was only her terrorizing poltergeist that set fire to the barn, the judge laughed, convicted her of arson. And it's not clear when or why, but it seems that this ghost tired of Esther, because one day it just let alone left. So there you go.
Well, she's like, well, dang it, I'm not going to jail again. I'm going to quit that crap.
Now, again, we have fun here. We said it over and over again. We are not, God, what's the term I'm looking for here? I don't want to say patronizing. We're not making fun of these cases if they actually happen, because if all this stuff is real, it is beyond description as how terrifying that is. And I buy it. I get into stuff like that, man. We're not mocking it. We really aren't, but we're just having a good time. Mike, how much do you buy into some of these accounts? I'll just ask you flat out.
I can buy into every single one of them to a certain degree. I mean, it doesn't mean that they were as horrific as the story was told. They could have been embellished a bit where, things happen. It's like,
Sure.
oh, you can deal with that easy enough. But boy, we got to embellish a bit so it's more exciting to read. But that doesn't mean that these things actually cannot happen.
Well, and some of these things, okay, we'll backtrack a little bit here. What got us down this road for poltergeist attacks as a topic was I originally suggested, Mike, the Island Magie in Northern Ireland, the Island Magie witch trial poltergeist, and this took place in the 1700s. And this actually, this ended up in an unsolved murder, for God's sakes. And it involved some crazy alleged poltergeist activities during these witch trials. And so that kind of got us going down this path here. And so, but stuff like this, yes, it could be embellished. Yes, the legend could grow as the years go by, but something happened originally to spark these crazy, bizarre stories.
Exactly.
So you can't ignore that. You simply cannot do that. I mean, I guess that's kind of our argument that we repeat over and over and over, but...
Right. Well, even if it was half of the story is true, that's still saying quite a bit.
Good point. It is.
So go ahead and take some embellishments along with it, and you can, think for yourself what might be true or not. But we weren't there. We'll never know. We could talk to, whoever, read whatever article, but we're still never going to know. But, just take even a quarter of it and know that something happened.
Well, Mike, we got to wrap it up here in a few minutes. This has been great, man. Again, sorry for swearing, everybody. These just fly by, and it always amazes me how enjoyable they are. As far as,
they are.
I mean, I shouldn't say amazes me,
Yep.
but not to toot my own horn, but this is a shout out.
Well, do it for once.
I was just going to say, this is a shout out to your brother, Steve. Should I be arrogant then? Should I say this was Man Alive? We're awesome. That was easy peasy. No problemo. We weren't even prepared, and look at what we did. No, I'm not going to do that because that's not me.
We're too humble for that.
Very, very much so. But
you just have to realize that there's more to you than what you give yourself credit for.
I'm more than 5'7"? Oh. That's good.
5'7" and 1/16. Yes,
Yay!
I am taller than 5'7".
Yay! That just made my day.
No, but Steve said that as a. I hope Steve doesn't mind me talking about this on the air, but
no, I'm sure
it's my brother is a very wise and seeing type person. He's empathic enough to know that you are putting more negativity on you than what you deserve.
I hear you. I know. I got you. And I appreciate that. I appreciate Steve.
Yeah.
You're an awesome supporter of the podcast. We're glad that you find this entertaining and informative somewhat.
He does.
All right, got to get this out of the way, the necessary evil. Guys, if you enjoy the podcast and you've made it this far, chances are you do enjoy the content. And you want more? Check us out on our Patreon page. It is just growing by leaps and bounds. We have over 250 exclusive posts there, including over 50 exclusive Patreon episodes, stuff you won't hear anywhere else except over on the Patreon. I've returned to the arduous task of recording and posting the old archived episodes from the Alternate Route podcast and as far back as Nonsensecast radio days. Mike, I posted our 2014 and 2015 Halloween spooktacular episodes from back in the day. They're so much fun to listen to.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and this is the truth. I am being hard on myself. My God, I come across as obnoxious sometimes in those episodes. But they're entertaining. They're so much fun. Bridget and Mike saved the day, and hopefully I'm okay too. But tons and tons of old archived episodes, exclusive video, audio content from our own personal paranormal investigations. You can go check out all the EVPs we've captured. Just crazy, fun, weird, bizarre stuff that we can't explain. Creature feature episodes, commentary and breakdown episodes of paranormal programming. We're talking Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, or just even famous alleged cryptid paranormal video like the Patterson film, or, Skinny Bobby. You all know Skinny Bob, the alien back in the day. Mike finds him hilarious. So,
yeah, it was kind of fun talking about Skinny Bob, because here I am, Fat Mike, talking about Skinny Bob, and it was pretty good.
Hey, it was a good counterbalance there. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, gotta have that balance.
I've simplified the tiers. I removed one of the tiers, so you can sign up for as little as $1. You have exclusive access to exclusive content, including our Patreon exclusive pop culture podcast, Retro and Randoms. We have 10 episodes of those already recorded and posted and available on Patreon. Mike and I
talk about fun.
Oh my gosh, those are fun. This complete 180 of what we do. It is nothing paranormal at all. It's just all movies, television, music, all the stuff that we just enjoy and love. And yeah, we really let loose on there. Mike was drunk during episode 3, so that was pretty good. So
yeah, but see, that was pulling out the beer one time out of.
Yeah, I know.
Boy, I am almost pretty much a non-drinker.
I know you are. I'm very, very proud of you. It's awesome.
Yeah, except when, you and I are together
you weren't drunk. We were both feeling good, though. We were both feeling good. And that was after a day where we marched through like 200 yards of 5-foot tall cornfields or wherever the hell it was.
Yeah, we needed to, tick-infested weeds.
Mike got like 8 ticks and I got none.
Oh, 9. I got 9.
Hey, there's video of that of Mike and I sweating and walking through that field. So hey, that's worth $1 right there.
At least there's no video footage of me finding that first tick. Scream like a little girl.
And I will say again, a giant shout out and thank you to Pandora Blackthorn. She's going to get her podcast up and running again. Her and her husband moved recently. They've been living in a hotel. I was just messaging her last night about stuff like this, and she's going to get back to recording her podcast, and I highly recommend you guys go check that out. Pandora's, I apologize, I can't pull the name, but I know the word carnival's in it. I know that. Go check it out. It's great. If you enjoy our content, you'll love Pandora Blackthorn's podcast.
And we should,
But I wanted
to look. Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. Sorry. The reason I brought that up because she signed up for. Yes, I put it up there just for the 0.00001 chance someone would sign up for it. There's a $35 tier that you can sign up for, and you get hoodies, t-shirts if you want, mugs, all sorts of great merchandise, Paranormally Zone merchandise, and of course access to everything else. And big time thank you for Pandora for signing up for that. That is awesome.
Yes.
But again, you can get access to all sorts of cool stuff for just $1. So done with the plug.
Yeah, looking forward to having her on the show again sometime.
100%. Well, Mike, just like that, we're over an hour, and I got to run, man. Thanks for making this work.
Yeah, I got to run too. I don't know where or how.
Well,
because I don't run anymore.
I was going to say you're probably going to walk, but that's okay.
Find my cane next to me here.
Well, if you guys, everything's. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Everything's great. We are enjoying the end of another wondrous podcast episode.
I definitely hope so. And I agree with you. Definitely. This has been a blast. We want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about poltergeists? What are your theories on what's going on there? We love hearing your feedback. That's what we're here for. I mean, we're doing this because we love it, but it makes it that much more rewarding when you guys kind of interact with us.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it.
It's the whole family setting.
Oh, by the way, I did just post a weird video that Bridget's best friend, Shauna, just shared with us about some odd stuff happening at her house there. She recorded this short little, she said it went on for like 8 minutes, but she only posted like 10 seconds of it. But well, I'll just tease it at that. Go check it out on our Patreon page. Is it ghostly? Huh? What was your vibe, Mike? I think you thought it was kind of ghostly.
Yeah, it looked a little ghostly to me.
Very, very ghostly. It's creepy and it's kind of weird, but cool at the same time. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. You knew where you were. This was the Paranormally Zone, your place for all things paranormal, strange, and the mysterious. Until next time, Mike, what do our paranormal pals need to do?
Find a peaceful way back to reality.
Okay.
And peace out.